Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was born on October 2nd, 1869, and died on January 30th, 1948. These dates alone cannot convey the changes made over time by one man and his followers. Gandhi was able, for the first time in India's history, to unite the masses in a common mission of increased civil rights and an independent India. Gandhi was born in Porbandar in the Indian province of Gujarat. Gujarat, like most of India at the time, was divided into states, some of which were under the direct authority of the British, while others were ruled by local princes under the influence of the British. Indian society was also divided at this time into different castes that were determined by the type of work you did. Each caste occupied a different level of society, meaning that people born into high castes, like the Brahmins, did not associate with the untouchables, who were considered below, or outcast. Families were also a major part of Indian social structure. Extended families with many generations and many relatives often lived in the same house. These divisions stratified India's society and made it difficult to bring together. As a child, Gandhi was very devoted to his father and mother. This would later affect his views on religion and morality. At 18, Gandhi went to England to study law. To appease his mother, he promised not to eat meat or drink alcohol, leaving him socially out in the cold. To help him cope, he joined the Vegetarian Society and became friends with people in the Theosophical Society. He became very interested in religion and the morals taught through it. In 1891, he became a lawyer and went home to India. He took his most life-changing step when he took a year-long contract as legal counsel in South Africa. At that time, non-whites in South Africa were oppressed by laws that limited their rights. The landed white gentry did not like the indentured servants from India, known as coolies, and treated them as little better than slaves. On the train ride to the capital, Gandhi was told to leave the first-class compartment because he was Indian. After refusing, he was kicked off the train and left to shiver in the cold for the rest of the night. By morning, he had decided that he would not give in, but fight for his people's rights. He soon began to organize meetings about the condition of Indians in South Africa. He encouraged them to reform themselves, to show whites that they should be treated as equals. He taught them to be more honest in their business practices, live a more sanitary life, because most Indians saw this as the work of the outcasts, and become more tolerant of the idiosyncrasies of various sects of Hinduism to create a greater sense of community. United, they would be able to fight for their civil rights. Instead of leaving after a year, Gandhi was convinced to stay to fight to keep Indians' elective franchise. He sent a petition to the government in protest with 10,000 signatures on it. This marked his first mass organization in protest of the government. While collecting these signatures, he made sure that people knew what they were signing. He felt that if the people did not know what they were signing, their signatures were worth nothing. So he had his workers explain what the petition meant to every person they went to. This provided more support to his cause because people knew what they stood to lose. It also gained him fame as publicity of the issue grew. During this time, he also read Unto This Last, a book on economics by John Ruskin, which convinced him that all work and people are equal. Gandhi moved into a self-sufficient village and began to make and wear khadi, or homespun cloth, starting the Swadeshi movement. The Swadeshi movement came to epitomize the larger independence movement because it was felt that if they could break economically with England, they could also break politically. When he temporarily returned to India to collect his family, he published a pamphlet on his struggles for civil rights in South Africa. This catapulted him to national fame as a champion of the people. At this time, he began to develop his concepts of nonviolence, known as satyagraha, and absolute truth, known as ahimsa. Satyagraha meant to willingly submit to punishment without retaliation. This allowed his enemies to have no just argument against his cause. Ahimsa was searching for absolute truth. Therefore, Gandhi only opposed ideas, not people, often making friends with the people he was negotiating with. His principles were put to the test when the courts ruled that only Christian marriages were legal, making all other marriages invalid. Gandhi organized a strike and a mass crossing of the border, something illegal without a permit. The revolt peaked with 50,000 South African laborers on strike and several thousand other Indians in jail, including Gandhi. Finally, the South African government was forced to yield to this mass diplomacy and made many concessions. In 1915, Gandhi moved back to India to apply himself to the Swaraj movement, which was working to bring home rule and freedom from British oppression to India. India had been ruled by the British since 1858. At the time, India's independence movement was mainly made up of the elite of Indian society. The common people of India were not involved because they had to work hard every day for a living. They did not have the time or money to sit and discuss democratic ideals. He combined Western teaching with Eastern religious morals to become the first person to organize the stratified and divided Indian society behind one common goal: independence. He appealed to people's moral sides to make questions not apply to only one caste or group, but all of society. He also worked to unite society by breaking down caste barriers. He accepted the untouchables and called them the children of God, for he believed their work was just as honorable and important as anybody's. While policies like these made him some enemies, he created even more useful connections through his work. For the first time, people from every level of society became involved in the debate against the British authorities. Gandhi's coming out party was the Rowlatt Satyagraha in protest of the Rowlatt Act. The Rowlatt Act gave British authorities extraordinary power to deal with revolutionary activities. He organized a national hartal, or day of prayer and no work. One man almost shut down all of India. His hartal brought the government to its knees by shutting down the telegraph and rail lines. It was effective because it appealed to people's morality, as well as the fact that anyone could miss work for a day without getting into trouble. The Rowlatt Satyagraha made Gandhi the national conscience and spokesman for all of India. He became the champion for India's independence by acting as an important agitator for revolts and as a delegate to independence conferences. Gandhi was so successful because he avoided undemocratic, imperialistic diplomacy for nonviolent mass diplomacy. He used popular demand to bolster his cause in negotiations. Gandhi's most important and successful belief was to always stay positive through love and ahimsa. He only felt he had failed when the protests turned violent, causing him to go on one of his famous hunger strikes. During his struggle, he also spent much of his time in jail. Gandhi relished these times for the uninterrupted writing time they presented, but popular demand shortened many of his sentences. His work finally came to fruition when the British Raj, or rule, came to an end. India received its independence on August 15, 1947, as two separate nations, the Republic of India and the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. Today, Gandhi is honored as the father of the Indian nation. Only a year later, he was assassinated by a Hindu nationalist who felt he had given too much to Muslim Pakistan. However, his work has lived long after his death. Nelson Mandela worked nonviolently in South Africa to end apartheid. Martin Luther King Jr. also used Gandhi's tactics to advance his own movement. Gandhi has also influenced scores of other people, ranging from the Dalai Lama to John Lennon. Protesters in Madison, Wisconsin also used some of Gandhi's tactics to help achieve their goals. Gandhi worked from England to India, yet never compromised on his principles. His morals endeared him to the masses that followed his every instruction. Gandhi was one with the crowd to become the voice and soul of India. You must be the change you wish to see in the world.